Hi, everybody. DJ Yokley with you for another edition of Coach's Corner. This time we are joined by the Sebring Lady Trojans head coach, Mr. Sam Mathias. Coach, how we doing?
Oh, we're doing wonderful. How are you, DJ?
Doing well, doing well. What a year it's been.
Oh,
I mean, for you especially, and for you being, this is what, your sixth year back at Sebring overall.
mhm.
When you think about this year against the other five in
Yeah.
Trojan country, what has it been like for you? The differences and maybe some of the similarities as well.
Um, I don't want to use the word horrible, but it's been very, very rough. I am a person that likes a schedule, so I know when we're going to play, how many practices we're going to have to prepare for another team. And right now, you just don't have that. I mean, we were supposed to go play Lowville tonight. Last night, I get a call from our athletic director saying that Lordstown had a positive test, and we're shut down for 2 weeks right now. So I'm getting emails from him today how he's rescheduling stuff. And right now, it looks like we're going to go back on February 2nd, practice that day, and play 4 straight games. So it's just going to be nuts to be off for 2 weeks, practice one day, go out and play 4 straight games because, I mean, we're crunched for time. We're getting closer to tournament time here. And, I mean, that's what we're trying to gear toward. We're hoping to keep it going till then. But it's just been rough. I'm a creature of I like a schedule, and there's been nothing to the schedule this year. Tomorrow is my last day of quarantine because my wife tested positive. So I've been down for 10 days away from my girls anyway. My assistant coach, Katie Butler, has done a phenomenal job with them while I've been gone. And then I get news last night that I'm away from them for another 14 days. So I'll be 3 weeks without being around my team, and it's very tough.
And you talk about challenging, you talk about well, let's just call it what it is. It sucks. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
When you're in a situation like that, what are some of the when you're looking for any kind of ray of light, ray of
Yeah.
sunshine in a bad situation, a cloudy situation? Have
Yeah.
you found that yet? And what has it been? And how have the girls reacted to all of this?
Yeah. The first two things I'm very fortunate and blessed about is my wife. It almost seemed like a head cold to her. It wasn't anything major like I've heard other people had that they were down for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very blessed about that. And in talking to my girls last night and having some communication with them today, knock on wood, we have no symptoms right now. So
Right.
they're all healthy. So those are the two most important things to me right now through this season. I've talked to them all season long that today could be our last day. Today could be our last day, and they've responded very well. I want to say that I had them prepared for anything, and me going down, them going down, and so forth. But until it actually happens, it's hard to deal with. So when I was quarantined with my wife, I got on. I texted them. I called them. Hey, this is what's going on. Coach Butler's taken over. We had our game plan in for the next game, which was Letonia, I believe, last Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So we only lost by 4 to them. Was me being there going to be a 4-point difference? I'm not going to say that. Coach Butler knows what we run. The girls know what we run. And but they did the game plan. They do an awesome job at it, and I'm very excited for what they've done here in the last 10 days.
So let me ask you this question. Sebring, it's been a culture for a long time that
Mhm.
you've been trying to get back on top, trying to just win games, find games to build that team and program back. I mean, it seems to be a year that you were doing just that, and kicking some of the old guard to the curb, so to speak.
Right.
How challenging has it been for you to have such a choppy season to be able to rebuild that program?
Yeah, it's been very challenging. When we started the season, our first 4 games were canceled because of teams with COVID, and it was very hard because our scrimmages, I felt like we were on a roll and getting things in at the right time to peak at the right time to get into game 1 against Campbell right before Thanksgiving, and everything was rolling into it. And Thursday night before that game is when we got the call that Campbell had theirs and we were shut down. So it's like, yes, everything's going great. The girls were shooting well. You could see them being so confident in what we were doing. Boom, we get shut down. Okay, well, we were supposed to play that following Monday, and we get to Sunday night. Boom, that gets shut down. So you can only keep the momentum going for so long in practices before it's just kind of you see them drop off there. And after game 4 got canceled, it was like, man, we just got to get a game in. We got to get something going here. And we were so lucky to draw Western Reserve as our first game of the season. So I had a freshman starter that had never played varsity ball. I had another freshman coming off the bench. So it was a very challenging night that night to get their feet wet against one of the perennial powers in the area. But they've responded. We started out a little bit shaky, but we've won, I think, 2 in a row here, maybe 4 out of our last 7 or 8. So they've responded well. We were actually getting on a roll. I thought we had a chance against Lowville tonight. We had Leetonia scheduled for Saturday, which I thought we could do well against them again. And then another winnable game against Kingsway Christian on Monday. So it was like the right time that we should be rolling, and now it gets shut down again. So they'll be fine. The girls, I'm very fortunate that they're very smart kids. I have 7 girls. That's all I have on the roster right now. And 6 of those girls are probably 4.0 students, and the other girl might have 1 or 2 Bs. So they're very smart. They're not liking that they're not in school. Sebring has been in face-to-face the entire season. They've never went remote, hybrid, or anything like that. Wow. So they've been in school, and these girls don't like not being in school. They like being in there doing their job because they're very smart kids. So I feel for them right now that they're on a 14-day quarantine period.
It seems to be a very close knit team as well. I mean, you see teams that sometimes there's factions of it, 2 or 3 kind of cliques within a group. This seems to be like a team that is really tight knit. And you and I talked about it online. Emma Whaley is right at the top of that list. She's been your leader. She's been your go-to, and she might be the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak, for this Trojan team. Can you speak to her a little bit and what she's like and her character on and off the floor?
Yeah. Anybody who asks me about Emma, she is the Energizer Bunny of our team. She goes 110 miles an hour at all times. And when I came in and she was a sophomore, it was trying to harness that energy to do what we needed to do properly. So once her and I got on the same page with that, she is our engine that drives us. And the rest of the girls know that if it's crunch time when if we're half quarter and we need a bucket, they look to Emma to do that. It's not what I would say I want them to do. I want every one of my girls to be able to take that shot to get us out of a hole. But everybody has that one leader on their team, and Emma's that. She has one other senior with her this year, Abby Diostroff, who has just slowly the last 3 years has just done a phenomenal job for us with her shooting. We totally tore her shot down to get where she's at right now. And then I have 2 other starters back from last year, Devin and Delaney Regai, running the points. They're starting to shoot a little bit more, and they facilitate so well. One's a left-hander, one's a right-hander, so it's kind of nice that you can get to both sides of the floor that way. I have a sophomore, Alexis Bird, who played for me last year, who has gained so much confidence this year. I'm loving watching her right now because I knew it was in her last year, and trying to drag it out of her at times was tough. And now this year she's starting to see it. And then we have 2 freshmen, Blake Thomas and Emma Sievers, who they've gained confidence. The more and more minutes they play, the more they become more physical for us and helped us out. But yeah, Emma, she knows that she's the driving engine of our team, and I get on them all the time about, you guys need to help Emma out, go help Emma out. And they do that. I mean, they know that they have to do their parts, and it's a lot of pressure on her, but I know she's a kid that can take it. She's a 3-sport athlete. She started for 4 years on all 3 of those teams. So she's a kid that wants to be pushed, wants to drive herself to be better.
What a roster, and what a coach to know all that about the kids. And naturally, it's a challenge to only have 7 people on your roster, but you've embraced it. You get to know your players, on the floor, off the floor. So congratulations on that. That's very inspiring. Being that this is our first Coach's Corner, I want to end with a question we always end with, usually with first-time Coach's Corners and first-time interviews. Coach Sam Mathias here with the Sebring Lady Trojans program, of course. Who has been your role model, your inspiration to not only get you into coaching, but keep you in the basketball ranks?
I can't narrow it down to one person. I've had a lot of people that have influenced me throughout my years. Coach Brian Clark got me into it when I came out of college. He needed a JV coach at that point, and it was just a great fit for me. I was actually teaching in Sebring at that time in the behavior unit. He needed a coach. He was a great guy to work under, had some very good teams when we were there, and it was nice to learn his philosophies and so forth. Josh Scott and I, we've been friends for ever since that I've known him when I started coaching varsity girls up at Sebring, and we always bounce ideas off of each other. I mean, we were texting last night until 10:30. I said, we must have some kind of mojo together because we both get shut down in the same day. So I don't know if it was good mojo or bad mojo, but him and I have always talked. I've always wanted to try to coach with him, whether he's the head coach, I'm the head coach, whatever it is. I just think it would be fun to learn under him. And Coach Sigler down at United, him and I, we've coached together when I was at United. We went to regionals 2 years in a row. He's got some different ideas, and I love getting a bunch of different ideas. But the whole coaching rank, I mean, everybody in our league and out of league, coach, so for Coach Blatch over there, him and I talk a lot about some things. Newton Falls coach with Coach Baker. They're also receptive about bouncing ideas off of each other. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to just name one person, but I got a bunch of people that I love to talk to each night, and basketball-wise, meet for a couple drinks and just shoot the bull about everything.
I love it. Coach Sam Mathias, honored to sit down with you and talk basketball and Sebring Trojans basketball nonetheless. Thanks for your time. Look forward to the next one.
All right. Thanks.